So Versace Plug came back, and I've been wondering this for a long time, but I've just been, is he pro? Is he not? So I'm trying to research this, but skating is not an easy thing to research because we have no stats on it. It seems like anything. But as far as his level of skating goes, I think he's pretty much a pro. If you see his part, it's as good as any other part you're gonna see. Not literally, but you know, it depends on your style. If you don't like his style, you're not gonna like it as some other parts, but or like it as much as some other parts. But I just wanted to explore this: is he pro, or more specifically, does he make money off of skateboarding? So, I've looked into his profile. He never really tags any brands, but I did see on the Tampa website that his sponsor is Nike SB. So, I mean, they might be paying him for this, but it's just it's hard to imagine that a company would pay for a clip without him tagging them or anything. But he is wearing their shoes, so it does appear that he is sponsored by Nike. Almost every clip you see of him, he'll have Nike shoes on. As you can see by this picture, Nike's clearly sending him shoes. This is from his page 300 weeks ago. But on with it anyways. So let's say that he's getting paid by Nike. And this is hard to quantify anyway because you're just guessing what they would even pay someone like that. I mean, what would a company like Nike pay a skateboarder for clips on Instagram where he doesn't even tag the account? I don't know. But I did try to research what the average payment for an Instagram sponsorship would be. And it's not one-to-one, of course, so this video is a lot of assumptions. I'm trying to pocket watch, basically. But, so I found this where it's saying recent average engagement times 0.16. It's a little different because the video they use it as an example is like a clear sponsorship video. So it's hard to imagine Versace Plug is getting paid the same amount for some. I mean, this is like a commercial, so they're kind of using an example where it's a commercial, not a dude skating in the shoe. But I did look at his average engagement for his 123 posts. He gets an average like amount of 124,000. Average comments per post is 2,000. So I added them together thinking maybe that's the engagement. The website was not very clear on what the recent average engagement actually entails. So I did two different math problems and I'm just making assumptions off of that. So if we combine these two, it's 126,000. So if you multiply that by the 0.16, that'd be 20,000 per post. And I don't know about you guys. I don't think he's getting paid 20,000 per post. Just guessing. I can't imagine Nike paying that much for an Instagram clip where they don't tag them. Now the alternative would be just not the full engagement, but just the comments, which 2,000 average comments per post, it comes up with a more realistic number of $320, which it's just almost impossible to guess these things. So it's just a fun video of me talking about it. But let's multiply that by the 123 posts he has. That would be $40,000 over the course of the 8 years that he's been on Instagram. So hardly anything. I think he did post. He posted more quantity 2 years ago however, before he disappeared, he was posting quite often. But so I don't know. You can do the math. I just don't feel like it's hard to even know if he's getting paid from Instagram. So I'm just gonna drop that discussion in general. So his brother and him, they don't even have links to Flytech anymore. But if you look at his brother's page, he hasn't posted very much either. He gets decent engagement, and like you can see, they started a brand. If you try to find the brand, though, it's almost impossible. So supposedly, this is the page. They have no posts, no tag posts. they have a link. If you follow the link, it just goes to nothing. So, I mean, I don't know if sales were hurting or what, and I don't know how to try to guess how much merch they really did sell, because, you know, someone with the credit of him on Instagram, you know, 500,000 followers, him dropping a brand, selling some boards and stuff, that could be a big chunk of change. Like, I don't know how much the stuff was, but if the shirts were $40 and the sweaters were 80 or whatever, I mean, he could probably walk away with maybe 100,000. I don't know. I didn't do any math on that one, but you know, 500,000 people. We'll just do something real quick for fun. 500,000 people, and let's say 10% of them take something. That seems like a lot. That seems like a really big, yeah, that almost seems like, let's say 1%. That's probably a more realistic conversion. So 5,000 people, then they're selling for, hold up, let's say they sell average $40 things, and they get half of the profit. So let's say they get $30 per sweater. So just 5,000 times 30. Or whatever. I'm doing very stupid math. 150,000. So, you know, he might be getting paid sponsorship posts from Nike, and he might have sold 100,000 in merch. I mean, I think that's possible. Likely, I don't know. Possible, yeah. So, even if you go, I've tried to find Flytech stuff on other sites. I went to Big Cartel, and it looks like they had a page. It was Flytech at bigcartel.com. But there's nothing there now. So it just is interesting. It's interesting. The border, the profile, really hard to find skate stats on who's sponsored by what and all that. They say he's sponsored or shouts by Nike SB, Grizzly, and Flytech. So obviously Flytech is his own company. They say his earnings are zero. I cannot believe that, because the dude travels a lot. So unless he just like has money or he works a regular job or whatnot, I mean, he's got to be making some money from skating. He had to have sold a lot of merch. Like, he's the most famous dude on Instagram. But yeah, so they say he's an AM, which is, or not them. The Tampa one says he's an AM. This doesn't say anything. So it says he's sponsored, but to what extent is he sponsored? You know, are they paying him to skate places? I don't know. What do you think of the Flytech? Also, one last thing to look into is they have a YouTube channel, and they have about 3 million views total if you add up all the views on their videos. So how YouTube payment works, if he's even a partner, I don't even know if he has ads on his videos. They do, they pay you per 1,000 views. So let's say 3 million views, I already did the math, but you divide it by 1,000 because it's per 1,000. And then the 6 I'm using is just an estimated cost per whatever. It's the CPM that YouTubers get paid. I've heard of people making 6 per 1,000. So if that is true, and if he runs ads on his videos, he might have made 18,000 dropping these videos. Now, this is over the course of 3 years that he dropped all these, so it's just very interesting to think. Basically, what I'm getting at this whole video, if you look into him, it doesn't seem like he's a pro. Obviously, his skating is pro level, but it's almost like a travesty that someone as good and as popular as him might not even be making a living off of skating. Now, there might be some comments and saying stuff like, oh, you missed out on this or that. And I could be way off base, way wrong. But from everything I can find, it just doesn't seem like he... I mean, if he lives off of skating, that's awesome. But maybe that's why he went missing for years. Because just none of this makes sense to me. What do you think? Should he be pro? Should somebody make him pro? Should he have more sponsors? What are your opinions? One thing I left out in the original filming of this is just maybe Nike SB pays them a monthly fee. So I looked up the team, and he's actually not listed on their team website. So, I don't know if he's like amateur for them and they still pay him, because they probably pay some people that aren't on this page. But I don't know. There's no way of knowing, but I really would like to know.